Howzit Bru? Welcome. So we got the big game, the Springboks versus England this weekend. First time they're going to be meeting since the World Cup semi-final. What a dramatic finish that was! What a tight game that was. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Kenneth, and welcome to Rugby Bru. I encourage you to subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and welcome your comments and thoughts, and be part of this great community that we've created here. So, okay, let's dive in. So we're going to be chatting about the team selection. We're going to be talking about the predictions. So 12 changes from the team against Scotland. Now, for the 12th game, this will be on average 9.77 changes. Call it 10 changes to the starting lineup of on average per game this year. So this is definitely a year of experimentation, and I suspect that that's not ideal. It's ideal to grow depth, but it's not ideal long term in terms of building momentum. So I suspect after this year, maybe that experimentation will start decreasing a little bit, that core player, and then building those players' experience, getting them more and more caps, especially the new guys, and just managing the older players. So I got two of the starting 15. By the way, those average changes of 10 per game is for the starting 15. If you add in the subs, it's even more. Okay, so I got two of the selections incorrect. So let's just run through the pack. Ox, Bongi, Wilco. That was a surprise for me. I didn't see that coming. Wilco being a late replacement, so to speak. But I mean, he's had a lot of experience in the UK, played against all these guys for years. So a surprise selection, but not a surprise selection. But I did think Tommy du Toit would get that place. Second row, first time ever that Eben and Achia Snyman are going to be pairing up. So that's a powerhouse lock pairing. So that front row of Ox, Bongi, and Wilco, those are powerful, powerful scrummages. And then you've got the beef behind them of Eben and Achia. That is a powerful front five. So we'll chat about that in a little while. I had Eben and Franco Mostat. Mostat doesn't make the 23 at all, and neither does Tommy du Toit, by the way. And then we got the loose forwards of Khaleesi, Peter Steph du Toit, and Jesper Wiese. Halfbacks, very contentious positions and choices in South Africa. I had said Williams and Marnie, and that's what they went with. Marnie and Williams on the wings, Kirtley and Cheslin, Fassi as fullback, and then a centre pairing of Jesse and Damien de Allende. So powerful pack all around. Now, as you guys know, this fly half talk in South Africa is very contentious, especially when it comes to Marnie. And I had a few of you guys saying, "What the hell are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. You know, hey, this is not, I'm not selecting the team. Remember, I'm not a professional pundit. I'm not a selector. I don't think I'm Rassie. I'm just building community and having a chat here as a fan and building community. So, all I was trying to do was predict what I thought Rassie was going to choose. It's not that I'm saying that Marnie is the best fly half and better than Pollard, but I do know what Rassie has said in interviews. I do know what Tony Brown has said in interviews. I do know what some of the players have said in interviews. And we looked at the data in some of my videos. So if you haven't seen the video that I created of, statistically, who is the best in terms of Marnie, Pollard, and Sasha. A lot of you guys say, well, you forget one thing in your stats, which is winning. Remember, winning is not just down at the fly half at the kick. It's a team that's put you in that horrible position as a whole, right? So, but we can't dispute the fact that Pollard is us in his veins and is the guy that you want to step up. But all around, that's another video with the stats. And we score more tries with Marnie, and he has more try assists by a long way, right? By more than 300% than Sasha and Andre, right? So you got to bear that in mind, right? So again, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. But ended up, is what I thought Rassie would do. That's what he did. So I haven't got many things right this season or this tour, but those two I got right. On the bench, I'd say that I'd set a 6-2 split, just given the size of the English pack. and the physicality, the type of game, they went with a 5-3 split. And there's a surprise. So there's two surprises there, right? You've got Malcolm, Steenekamp, and Koch. No real surprise there. But the big surprise for me is not that outright lock forward where they've got Elric Louw there. But he covers so many positions and so does Peter Steph de Toy. So in terms of lock pairings, they have got that 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 cover, so to speak. And then they've gone with Kwacha, and then the back line is Kobus Reinach, Hondre, and Lucania. I actually had Hendrikse there. A few of you guys said, hey, no, I think it's going to be Reinach. And then I saw Reinach show up for the press conference. I was like, damn, you guys got it right. But Lucania, and that was a surprise for me, right? So anyway, exciting. So let's dive into what we can sort of take from this team selection. And the way that if I look at the size of the forwards, if I look at that forward pack, is they're not waiting. Doesn't seem like they want to wait for that bomb squad to come dominate, right? Is that they've gone straight in and said, okay, right, let's lay down the marker from the word go. And this is also an attacking team. So you've got that brute force power up front, and then you've got the attack in the back line. So definitely we can all acknowledge that Jaden Hendrikse didn't have a great game against Scotland. Really struggled at the base of the scrum. Lots of errors, lots of knock-ons, pretty slow distribution. And I'm glad that some of you guys have said, hey, that guy's so slow. Because that's, if you guys remember my videos from the end of last year, beginning of this year, I was like, I don't even think that guy's top 4 anymore. Then he had a couple of good test matches this year, but he's seemed to have gone back. So with Williams, you've got the pace around the edges, and with Marnie, you've got the pace, right? Attacking instinct. Now, Marnie also very good at those cross kicks, right? High bombs, cross kicks, as we saw in the quarterfinal of the World Cup against France, and does that very, very effectively. The thing is we got pace for years with Jesse Creel, Cheslin, Fussy, and Kurt Lee, and then you've got Marnie for pace, and then you've got Jasper Wiese for pace, right? Damien Derlinden, but power in the center, not outright just pace, right? But that back line is quick. That thing's got wheels. So you've got Wilco Louw, Ox Bongi up front, Earburn and Archia. That is power. And then you've got Jasper Wiese carrying that ball with power. It's all about what happened to England against Australia. Is Australia were able to dominate the collisions, get over that advantage line, get over that gain line. And if we can do that effectively from the word go, and you've got that pace in the back line, this is all out attack Tony Brown. Now, there's a couple of other things. Is if you guys are watching my videos and even the previews between England and New Zealand, is I've spoken about two players in the English team, and I've been speaking about them going back about a season and a half. The one thing I noticed is, I think it was 2 seasons now, when under Fozzie, All Blacks went ahead. They were like 27-10 or something ahead. And then England came back and scored 3 tries in the last like 8 minutes or something. And then they drew it. I think it was 27 all or 26 all or something. Is in the beginning of that game, New Zealand took advantage of Freddie Stewart and Dombrandt. Okay. So Freddie Stewart, great on the high ball, very physical ball carrier, 6'5" for a fullback. But when you turn him, he's a bit of a slouch. Remember that Damien Derlinde, Kurt Lee, Willie Leroux, and then Kurt Lee skinned Smith on the outside to score that beautiful try the last time we were at Twickenham? Same thing, right? They caught him flat-footed. And then he can't turn in and go. The other guy is Dombrandt. And I've also spoken about Ollie Lawrence, their center. So their center, they've moved Ollie Lawrence from inside center to outside center, and Henry Slade to inside center for more creativity. So I'm not sure that's the right thing, but they want to play their game, because now instead of Ollie Lawrence, who's their physical, he's built like a prop, teaming up against or going against Damien Derlinde, who's a powerhouse. They've put I wouldn't say Henry Slade is the weaker. I actually like him, but they've moved him closer to Marcus Smith. But now Ollie Lawrence is on the outside. Now, Ollie Lawrence is good going forward, and he's a specimen of a human of a man, right? But he is slow when you turn him, right? So there's three players there that if we can turn them, if we can get around their blitz defense, and if you think how Tony's been attacking with Peter Steff and Sia in the wide channels and bringing forwards into that wide channel, that's going to be the thing. Also look for Marnie's cross kicking to get around that blitz defense. Okay. And then also with Williams, hopefully snapping around the fringes of the ruck to keep their defense in check so that blitz can't move up too quickly, to create space, essentially. So it's really interesting about the English team and their selections. And the other thing I've always said about England is when Borthwick first took over, right, they really, really struggled. But he started with Stewart and he started with Jack van Poortvliet. Van Poortvliet. I don't know. Is he Afrikaans? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, it was only when Alex Mitchell came through injury is that whole team started to gel. And I spoke to you about that in the All Blacks England game. I said Alex Mitchell for England is going to be a big loss. And they've also dropped the exciting guy from Bath, Ben Spencer, as a scrum half. Although I say that, but he might be injured. I don't know. And so, again, I think there's opportunity because I don't want to jinx anything here, but I think he is not a good link between their backline and their forwards, which they've struggled with. But they've got creativity on the outside. So, anyway, for us, I created this little visual for you guys to look at the head-to-head between the two. So here's what the packs are going to look like. And a lot of this, the result of this game is going to start here, as it always does for every rugby game, right? Especially at the international level. England are going to come out firing. No shadow of a doubt, right? They are going to come, and they're physical and they're strong. And the one thing about England is, whether it's cricket or whatever, if you write them off and they've got their backs to the wall, and like I said, their press can get really negative on them, they're going to come at us. Just the same way the Springbok teams. Now, you might think, this Springbok team is great, etc. And they are. This is a special Springbok team, if we're honest with ourselves, right? Not being arrogant or trying to be whatever. We're blessed right now with a great generation of players and a fantastic coach. And it won't last forever, so let's freaking enjoy it while we can, right? And by the way, that wasn't a swear word. So, but remember too, is pretty poorly coached Springbok teams in the past came up against some really great Australian and New Zealand teams at home when we were on a 3 or 4 game winning streak and we pulled off a win. England can do that. Why? Because we had that passion and physicality and our back was to the wall. So don't just think we're going to run over these guys because the Aussies have steamrolled them. And steamrolled's not maybe not the right word, but really shocked them, and the All Blacks did a number on them too. They could have won that All Blacks game too. So this is a good team. And they got big forwards, right? Genge, George, Stewart. There's a lot of experience there, and they're physical guys. Atoji and Martin, no shortage of physicality there. Whether you like Atoji or not, and he annoys you or not, he's a world-class a lock forward and very, very physical. Ben Earl, number 8, phenomenal player. Cunningham South, we'll see, but he's had some good test matches, right? Really physical, good ball carrier, big in defense, everything. And Sam Underhill, he's up and down, really good at that club level and such. Maybe he hasn't had quite the same impact on international level, but good player. Right? These are big physical humans too, right? So, but they're coming up against us, yeah. So if we look at the forwards, Stewart, George, Genge, Oxbongi, Louw, I would say maybe the Springboks have the edge there, right? And then the second row, Martin and Atoji versus Earban Snyman. I'm going to be biased here, but I think Earban and Snyman. And then in the back row, I think for the loose forwards, to me, Peter Steff, right, is the guy. And Sia steps up, we puts on that Springbok jersey, whole new level of physicality around the ruck, etc. leader. So it's hard to say. And Ben Earl, Visa, 2 different kinds of players. I would think Ben Earl might have the edge there. But as a pack, I think it's going to be fascinating, and I think we do have that edge. Now it's going to be interesting to see, like with our bomb squad, we don't have that big bomb squad that we normally do, right? Because we don't have a two more big lock forwards coming on, right? So we got Elric Lowe, who's a phenomenal player, and Quagga Smith. So those are not like these big physical dominant guys, although we could say Elric is dominant, right? But you know what I mean. It's not normally Archias Neyman's coming on with maybe another big lock forward like Jean Klein or somebody, right? But here we don't have that. But we've had a couple of situations this season in this situation, so we should be good. It's in the back row where or the back line, sorry, that I really think that we probably have the advantage, although they have got some guys that can open up. Tommy Freeman, Home, incredible players. I'm big fans of those guys. They're young and they're damn good. And they're big boys. They're big and they're strong. So they're going against small opposition here in Kirtley Cheslin. So it's going to be really interesting because the English players are big and they've got speed too, and they score tries. You got Henry Slade, he can unlock, and Marcus Smith, fantastic fly half. But a lot is going to depend on the quality of the ball that he's getting from his forwards and what's happening with Van Poortvliet. Van Poortvliet, he likes to do the kicking. Hopefully that us Springboks don't try to put too many high balls on Stewart because he's phenomenal in that area. But like I said, I think we can get around that outside channel and create space in that tram line between Lawrence and Slotholm. And again, they're switching that midfield. Will there be indecision there? Smith and Slade, those are two playmakers, but I'm pretty confident with the defense of De Lende and Jesse. And I think they missed the trick there with having Lawrence moving on the outside because Lawrence could have been coming straight at Marnie. So now you got Smith and Slade coming at Marnie, not as big as Ollie Lawrence. So, and then it's going to be interesting to see how Fassi steps up. But to me, that back line. But this is going to be a massive, massive game with a lot of little tests going on within the game, so to speak. Right? So the only thing that concerns me with the South African team is I love that Rassie's made these changes, right? And we developed this depth. But you lose momentum. So you start seeing the All Blacks, right, who've had that same team, and Reyes has been criticized for not making lots of changes to his team, even when they were losing in South Africa. He's stuck with the core of that team, and he's building, and now you can start to see that starting to pay dividends. The only challenge then, so there's pros and cons of both. The cons is if you lose some key players, those guys that stepped up don't have that experience. Where we're doing that now, but it is risky. And just like some of you guys said in the comments, as we get this stop-start, lots of mistakes, you lose that momentum because the guys are not playing 4, 5, 6 test matches in a row together, right? Even though they've played together for a long time. So you 1 week and then you're 2 weeks off, and then, it's sometimes 3 weeks off. So that's the only thing that could be a concern for us. But like I said, the selection of this pack, the selection of the backs, brute force mixed with absolute speed and as much creativity as we've got in terms of players. So a super exciting backline. And then we'll see what happens in terms of the changes, right? In terms of the benches, I think, like, we don't have that big bomb squad, but we got that power in the front row. Ulrich Lowe has been a revelation this year. And I also think in terms of like Dombrandt and that, he would be superior. We know what Quagga Smith can do. And then Kobus Ranach, we got speed. We got Lekanya Am, we got speed. And when he comes on with Pollard, guess what's going to happen? Lekanya Am's going to switch between first receiver, so Pollard can go to second receiver. They're going to switch that around. Lekanya can defend. He's got the experience, and he's got that pace that you don't think he's quick, but he's so quick. So again, we're just maintaining that attack, and we're maintaining, hopefully, the physicality. Elric Lowe, Quagga Smith, they're all creative, stepping players that can, carry the ball solidly, but they can also attack space really well. So, fascinating game. So let's look at the predictions here as we go into the game. So this year, On average, the Springboks have scored 4.18 tries per game, and we've conceded 1.63 tries per game. So round numbers, we score, nearly three more tries per game than our opposition. We score on average 34 points, and we concede on average 17 points. That's when you start seeing how freaking good this Springbok team has been, right? Is in terms of the quality of the opposition this year. We've played Ireland twice, we've played All Blacks twice, we've played Australia twice, played Scotland, Wales, and then Portugal, not Scotland, England, and we're going to end up playing Wales twice. But up until now, really, the easier games I'd say would be Wales and Portugal. But still, on average, despite the quality of that opposition, we're 17 points in terms of the positive, in terms of the opposition that we play. Right, and like I said, in the last 10 years, or in Rassie's era, Rassie and Jacques' era, we've played at Twickenham 5 times, we've lost 3 and won twice. Then we got that extra element the English are going to want. They're going to want revenge for the World Cup semi-final. They want to prove a point. They're also on a 4-loss losing streak. So they're going to come. It's going to be physical. I've looked at the weather. English weather can change in a heartbeat. So I am going to go with the Springboks to win by 100 points. Only kidding, bro. I'm going to go with the Springboks winning by 8 points, and I think the score is going to be 32-24. Now, I must admit, this Northern Hemisphere, my scores have been a bit way off, but I want you guys to let me know, what do you think of the video? What do you think of the selections? What's your score prediction? And I want numbers, guys. I don't want that Bokke gonna win by whatever. Tell me. Put your neck on the line. It's not easy, bro. So I think it's going to be 32-24, Springboks by 8 points. It's going to be a great game. And I don't think it's going to be, where we just run away with it in the beginning. That would be lovely. I could just watch that. We score bloody bunch of points in the beginning and then just maintain that lead. That would be nice. I could have a stress-free Saturday. But if you enjoyed this, I'd love you to subscribe. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I really appreciate all you guys that are watching here and tuning in and subscribing and leaving your comments and thoughts. It's fantastic. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the rugger. We got some beautiful games this weekend. And we also got the All Blacks versus France. I'll be doing a little preview on that. And guys, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you on the weekend. Take it easy. Cheers.